well, that concludes my review for the Tascam Portacapture X8. In all seriousness, I could end it there, but that would of course provide no value to you, and you have to know why I would end it there and what exactly just happened. I just put the black end loops into this that I use in all of my devices. It just wouldn't turn on, and you know, skipping a lot of steps. You don't need to know the entire drama, but I found through searching on the internet and one YouTube video out of the millions that mentioned this problem. And essentially what it comes down to, I will link that video in the description. Essentially what it comes down to is that Tascam says that they tested this on the white end loops. That's it. And apparently there is a, you know, we're talking smaller than a millimeter difference between the black end loops and the white end loops. And they apparently just do not work in this device. I can, if I finagle it at some point to get it to work, it will work. But if you actually just kind of bump the back, it'll turn off completely in the middle of recording. So you can just imagine how if you put that at least on, you know, a light stand or something at a show, and someone just bumped in the light stand, it would turn right off, and there goes that sound source. So let us try it with the white end loops, which I will try here in a sec. But you know, that's pretty much a no-go on the device. I mean, you simply, you know, even if it worked. Or actually, put it this way, even if it failed once out of every 500 uses, you know, it only takes one failure at a critical moment to ruin your company or personal reputation for good. You know, you just simply can't have a device where you know, it may turn off. I was messing with it yesterday, and even with the white end loops that they say they've tested it with, I actually would just kind of, I could touch the battery in the back, and it would just cut off completely. So you know, it's a super shame, because I actually, one would say that I'm a Tascam fanboy, but you know, I use the DR40 for tons of bands and weddings. I use the DR60D for tons of bands and weddings. I've got that's has some use on it. I use the Tascam 10R or DR10SG, which is shotgun mic that goes on top of it. You know, I'm a big Tascam, and all these products, they just work, and that's why I love them. I'm talking right now on a DR10L. You know, these products just work. They're just designed to capture audio, and they do that very well. And they have no shutting off issues whatsoever at all. It's just a super shame. Other than this super critical thing, you know, of it completely cutting off and ruining your entire gig. It's a lovely device. You know, I won't go over all the specs. There's a million videos about that, but you know, these can detach, and you could connect lav mics to it if you wanted. It's a really cool device, but that is insane. That's utterly unusable, that it just will cut off, and there's a chance of it cutting off. So one might think, well, okay, maybe I'll get around that. If it's that cool of a device, I'll get around that. I'll use USB power. I've used various cables. This happens with all of them. So here's a power brick right here. Okay. Awesome. That's cool. Okay, cool. So we got it to work. I got it to work that way. But let's try to... Oh, yep, I pressed on the batteries, and it turned off. Uh-oh. Okay. See if it cuts on here again. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that connected this time, and yep, it still worked. It still cut off. I'm just so you know what I'm doing. I'm just very lightly pressing the back of the. I'm not, honestly not like white knuckling it or anything. Just very lightly pressing in the back, and it's cutting it off. And you saw that that's with the USB connected. So that's utterly unusable. And actually, one might think, let's try this, okay? Let's try this. Let's say F that. Okay, what if the batteries are bad? Let's say if the batteries are super bad. Okay, well, let's don't even load it batteries, okay? Just keep it that way. Put the USB in. Boom. You know, you can get some fancy locking mechanism or something that it won't come out. Uh-oh. What happened? Okay, let's try that again. Portacapture X8. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I'm ready to record my audio. Oh, uh-oh. I really don't feel I need to go too much further with this, because that's just unusable. You know, what if this was like my main source, or even a backup source, you know, in a ceremony, in a wedding, you know, and what if your main source failed, and you know this became your main source because your actual main source failed, and this failed too. That's crazy. That's pretty much the review, and it's a damn shame, because as you saw, I love Tascam products. This is a Tascam household here. There's comments and stuff you'll find out there on the internet of essentially bad, I don't know if you call it IR, or just electromagnetic shielding, essentially, on the device. You will pick up those, almost like old amplifiers, you'll pick up that, like a high-pitched hum that will be in the recording, baked in the recording, due to cell phones and stuff like that. And so that's kind of crazy too. So it's, you know, I wanted this to be my first 32-bit device, but I guess I have to stay in the good old days of just getting your gain right, and the, you know, the safety track that that all the Tascam, or a lot of the Tascam devices have, that you can record simultaneously. That saved my butt a few times from peaks. Okay, so I switched out real fast, and I took out the batteries, and we're going to put the white ones in that they say they have tested, and you know, it will work, but I'm going to show you what happens. Okay. Okay, so you saw that I just put on the white ones, and it is indeed working. So I'm going to, oh, okay, well that already happened. I didn't even need to go far. So I'm just going to simulate. So all I did was just lightly press in the back. So it should be in there. It should work. Even, you know, that's how devices work. They as long as the circuit is completed. I'm mainly just showing this to show you, to simulate what it's happening extremely with the black batteries. But see, so I'm just going to lightly touch these. Oh, actually, I think, was that positive? I think I spun. I spun that just now, so that turned off. So turn that back on. It takes about 8 seconds. Yeah. So I spun these too. Just slightly. I just did that. Literally just did that. Which is a test that I've done on all of my Tascam devices, and they all work just fine. You can spin them all you want in the grave. Did that already cut off? Okay, so here you see. I'm just gonna. Oh, okay. Okay, that's the one that did it. Okay, so I just spun it. Let's try. Let's try now. Okay, so it's powering on now. So I'm gonna take this one. I think this seems to be one of the culprits. I'm just gonna lightly touch. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, there you go. So I'm really honestly just lightly touching them. You could totally see how if that was on a mic stand or some sort of stand and someone lightly bumped it. I mean, come on, with enough force, you could simulate the exact same thing happening, of the batteries gently moving in place and the thing cuts off. So to me, that's a no-go with the white end loops that they've tested it with. Yeah, that's super unfortunate, because I had a goal of recording jazz bands in Houston with this thing, and that won't be happening with a possibility of it just turning off. So anyway, yeah, that is my review of the Tascam Portacapture, or my experience with the Tascam Portacapture X8.